at the heart of the gathering of our people, at the heart of the community, at the heart of the assembly, because her ailment forced her out to the edge. And she was so bent over that most people wouldn't even have known that she was there. So there are these different levels of healing. And buried in the story and in the action of Jesus are a number of important Christian truths, values that come to us from Jesus. And the first of these is that people matter. People matter more than anything else. The weaker you are, the more you matter. The more broken you are, the more you matter. That's the way Jesus looked at things. So that people matter and all are welcome. That people are welcome in the company of Jesus without conditions and without strings. So people matter and all are welcome. And the more excluded you be, the more welcome you are. And the more excluded you feel, the more welcome you are. And the more marginal you are, the more welcome you are. So the more broken you are, the more you matter. And the more excluded you feel, the more welcome you are in the company of Jesus. Because for Jesus, people come first. For Jesus, people and their needs come before everything else. And that's where Jesus differed from the leader of the synagogue. Because for the leader of the synagogue, the most important thing was the law. Law, rules, commandments, structures, institutions. And Jesus is saying by his action that law has its place, and rules have their place, and commandments and structures and institutions have their place, but they're never of primary importance. They're always of secondary importance, because people are of primary importance, and rules and laws and commandments and structures and institutions are only important insofar as they serve life, insofar as they serve love, and insofar as they enable us to live in right relationships. So they're never ends in themselves, and they have no importance in themselves. They're meant to help us and not to hinder us. And when they hinder us, it's time for us to sweep them away. So that God has a will for us, Jesus is saying, in his dealings with this woman. That God has a will for us, and the will is that we live in freedom. God's will is that we live with dignity, that we stand straight, that we walk tall, that we're not burdened or oppressed or bound down. So faith frees us, and law is never meant to burden us. So that God's will for us is that we live in right relationship, and the law is there to help us to do that. That we live in right relationship with God. That we live in right relationship with ourselves. And that's a bit of the story that we're inclined to forget sometimes. That we live in right relationship with others, and that we live in right relationship with God's created earth. There's a song. Now, if I could sing, I'd sing it for you, but I'm just going to have to recite it for you. But the song is written by an American woman called Miriam Therese Winter. She's a songwriter, she's a storyteller, she's a feminist theologian, she's a member of a religious congregation, and the song is inspired by this story, by this woman's story, and it goes like this. And it's addressed to God. Surely you meant, when you lifted her up long ago to your praise, compassionate one, surely you meant not one woman only, but all women bent by unbending ways. And I'd like rewrite the story a little bit and include all of us in it, and not just women. And my rewrite goes like this. Surely you meant, when you lifted her up long ago to your praise, compassionate one, surely you meant not one woman only, but all people bent by unbending ways. All people, women and men, young and old, gay and straight, strong and weak, healthy and sick, Catholic and Protestant, Jew and Muslim, believer and unbeliever. God wants to raise up all people, no matter who they are, no matter where they are, that God wants to raise up all